Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our Let's Play through of Warcraft, Orcs, and Humans, the Human Campaign. And as we left off last time, we kind of basically got started a little. Now, for the most part, the Orc and Human missions parallel each other, and I'll get more on that as I'm actually gonna put up the Orc campaign eventually. But for now, I want to finish this mission. Now, this mission basically introduces the Necrolites for the Orcs as an enemy, and the clerics, I believe it was, for the humans. For the most part, the units are basically equivalent to each other. However, the main difference between humans and orcs, and you have to keep in mind when you're actually structuring your little attack groups, depending on what you're playing as, is that the clerics can heal, the orcs cannot. And as you can see, there's a necrolite down there in the corner. I just want my archer to attack him, and you'll notice he has terrible attack range, as does the cleric. They're not really meant for attacking, they're meant for support. They can attack, however, if somehow they're the last guy left. And you'll notice the AI will always go after your peasants first. It prioritizes them. And it gets really annoying because they'll usually take out one or two of your peasants while you're trying to take them out. And there I am with the OCD, by the way, just building the roads around everything. And 1 footman left up top, so gotta build some more. And I'm gonna move these guys just to reveal a little more of my map, just to give me a better heads up for when stuff attacks. Now the weird thing about this game is that you can't see your health total. Obviously you can't actually also see your magic total for when you're one of the caster classes. And we'll get more to that in a little bit. However, as you can see, grown 17, used 10. A funny neat little thing that I've noticed also, and you'll occasionally see me do this, if you have, let's say, 1 unit of food left between your farms, and you're building a peasant and a footman or an archer or whatever simultaneously, they will complete because the food was free before you actually started making everything. So you can be rather tricky that way, if you want to make sure that you have an extra guy to protect everything or whatnot, and more OCG planning ahead with a farm there. And that is where I was planning on putting the lumber mill. Now you'll notice there will be just times where I'm just not talking, because there's nothing relevant to bring up. And as you can see, there was another necrolite there, and what happens is the AI will actually send them out to just outside of your base, hoping you won't notice, or just automatically assuming you won't notice, and they'll leave them there. The orcs will just leave the necrolites nearby, so that way when their raiding party comes by and attacks, and they die or kill off one of yours, he'll raise dead to make a skeleton. Skeletons don't actually have much attack, they're kind of more just annoyances. However, my lumber mill's finished, my guy's standing around. And I actually got distracted here for a while because, long story short, they needed me and I forgot to pause. So enjoy that little moment of nothing. And as you can see, build basic, build advanced. Once you have the lumber mill, you can build the church. And the church is where you make the clerics. And me just being OCD with the roads. Now you can't actually build a road that isn't connected to another road. You can if there's like 2 gaps between 2 sides of a road, and upgrade your archers, because that's probably one of the best moves you can make, is to upgrade your damage. And as you can see, all we can build right now that's new is the church. I'm building 2 because it's always nice to have a second copy of the building around for mass production of units. You're not really going to do it too much with the clerics, more so with the footmen, archers, knights, so on and so forth. But it's always nice to have. Because also in the later missions, if they attack and destroy one of your buildings before you manage to repel them. And as you can see, I didn't move those units because I move everything with the attack action, which is the A for shortcut. However, you can't do that if you have a peasant accidentally selected with your entire group. Anyway, I'll send my guy out to build that, build an extra farm in case. And you'll notice I'll occasionally just click the churches for no reason, other than to hear the sound that goes with the click. I do the same thing with the, I forget what the exact building is, but the equivalent where you train the necrolytes for the orcs. However, the one thing to pay attention to always is necrolite just ambush him. I don't understand why he walked into that. You have to train healing. Here's how it works. You don't actually burn up all your mana. You burn up to a certain point depending on the spell, and then you'll have to recast if they still need to get healed. It kind of is weird that way. You also can't exactly see how much. I'm pretty sure there's a value somewhere, and it's probably listed somewhere, but in-game, in the GUI, you can't see it, just like the health. And here we have 4 archers, just sending them out on a little patrol, because once you upgrade them, 4 archers will be able to handle most random groups of units you'll run across. If you accidentally walk into an enemy town with them, they'll probably end up getting destroyed by the grunts, but they'll take 1 or 2 out with them. And I'm also prepping at this point because you want to scout ahead somewhat to find a replacement gold mine for once yours runs out. And there's one right there. And what you'll notice also is that the AI has a tendency to leave a unit next to the gold mines, especially in the later missions, just to track you down. And just so they know to start sending guys. As you can see, I'm getting attacked by grunts. Archer halfway dead, 1 archer pretty much dead. Sending over those guys, my gold mine collapsed. Sending over those guys. And if I remember right, I believe I'm just messing around at this point, waiting for a second. Heal's fully trained. Finding my cleric, healing, H for the hotkey. As you can see, the footman was not fully healed, but not all the magic was used. Outside of it, the clerics are basically utility. They have a ridiculously long range for healing. So if you're playing against the humans, or you're playing as the orcs against the humans, well, just playing against the humans anyway, because I believe there's a human mission where you, I think it's the one where they introduce the wizards. You fight against the humans, and do the same thing with the orcs, I believe, at one point. And what ends up happening is that they'll actually park clerics far away, much farther compared to the necrolytes, because the necrolytes have 1 extra attack range. However, their raised dead doesn't have the range that the cleric has in terms of healing. We're actually going to end this part as I've reached my 10-minute goal time limit, if you will. Well, not exactly, but based on the total length of this recorded. Anyway, see you all in a bit.